Don't slip now. It's time for the pencil now. All right. Haha! Welcome to the Drawn Out documentary, where we will be talking about this amazing game and how I made it. So, thank you. I should probably get out of here. The game itself is meant to push a lot of artistic visual styles, because if it were to showcase the efficiency of the code, I would have chosen a much more complex, mechanically driven game idea. But Drawn Out is more to show off some of the visual styles, more of the artistry in game design and art. Since I am a heavily art-based creator, I thought, if I'm going to make a game that's heavy on anything, it's going to be on showing some of the visual flair and some of the style of what I can do. So I used Drawn Out as a potential platform. So that idea was relatively good in hindsight, I have to say. When it came to the idea of choosing pencils, that's where I thought, hey, if it was a style-based game, wouldn't it make sense if narratively the pencils created the world? That's where the story was born from. I've done a lot of marketing in my day. This is one of the official posters with all the social links, which is why you need to tell people about what you've done. Because if nobody knows it exists, what's the point of it even existing? It's not gonna do anything in a vacuum now, is it? Hey guys.
Yo. Damn, that looks good.
I know, right?
That is really good.
You see? Customer averted. Attained. Working alone was a bit of a challenge, because I did give myself that push to do it myself, because I want to know all the facets of game design. I want to at least understand a little bit of everything, because that's the methodology I think would be most valuable. But that's on me, I guess. So tried off learning C# code-wise. It was quite complex until I reached the point where, after following the leader and looking up tutorials and following them myself, I started to realize, hey, there's a pattern here. This function keeps being repeated and used for this same thing. Wait a minute, now I understand the functionality. And well, that's how learning wins. Should the movement be a bit more snappy, like a Mario or something?
No, definitely not. Like, what you have here is really good. I feel like if you do Mario, you'll be repeating a trend that's already been done a lot. So
Right, well,
keep where you go. Keep where you go.
thank you, bud. Funnily enough, the methodology I used was, it doesn't matter what file type you use, as long as the file types are compatible, you can put them in your game. Which is why, surprisingly, most of my game was made on a MED, mobile electronic device, in terms of the art. It wasn't made primarily using Adobe software. So if you can do your art, and if you just have the simple capacity to make something visually interesting, it can be put in the game. Just make sure the file type is the correct one.
Could surpass it.
And you know, I wish I could say this was all my doing, but that's just not true. And I don't lie to you guys. So let's bring the man, the myth, and the legend responsible for my aid, Ross Donovan. Welcome, Ross.
Yay!
This is Ross.
I'm not a woman.
No? The character choices in the game were all decided based on the style. So when we chose at least one character to represent pixel art, we thought retro, cowboys, and a lot of the older Atari-based games. So that entire world section was based on that one character and that one theme. When it came to the marsupial geometric-based characters, a lot of the inspiration from that came from the Into the Woods game, because of its very vectorized style. Because the marsupials are sleazy businessmen trying to get in through life by selling trash, which is apparently a decent business model. Ask public opinion on our game.
Whoa.
Hey Ross, tell me, how's it been like working on the game?
It's been incredible. Best thing I've ever done.
Nice!
Nice. Sandwich.
But wait, he's got a point. Because sandwiches are the metaphorical way I use to structure the game. Since the game is comprised mainly out of platforming sections and minigame sections, Section 1 and Section 3, the beginning and end, sandwich what in the middle would be Section 2. Section 2 is a variance, being the minigames, which is a departure from the main gameplay mechanics of Section 1 and Section 3, which are mainly platforming sections, which are the main crux of the game.
One part of the beginning is Section 1, mirrors the loop. Section 3 also mirrors another loop. The middle part of the game is interchangeable and narrows the scope, which is why it has stuff in the middle. A very interesting addition to the world of Drawn Out was the slime character, which is very boisterous and is deeply inspired by the J-pop pop art sort of thing. And overall, I think the decent assortment of styles and some of the more strange ones, which would have to belong to the Scribble character, which is based on just very rough sketch work. It should all mesh because the theme of the game is style and deviations in creativity. So yeah, because it's been an arduous time. We've had deadlines, we've had events to go to. It's true. Business cards to print. Wait, Ross. Hello guys. So let's talk about the stylized medium and why it is effective and how it molded parts of the intricacies of Drawn Out. So, some of the first NPC drafts here are geometric based marsupials. Here's the J-pop based slime. I did a bunch of tallies and best design won. The scribbles from many of my peers, which may or may not be in the game. Some of the minigame elements. The sandwich structure we talked about before. And here, more of the holistic view of the game. Some of the posters, the entire structure of the game laid out in illustrative form, some of the playable settings, and, well, more of the designs and the boss. Whenever test days are successful, you get data. But it wouldn't be possible without a studio space. So take a seat and let's explore the studio space of Drawn Out. Now, let's go and see the studio. This is the computer room where I learned how to make 3D assets and all that jazz. And over here you can see people. So say hello, people. So those are people, human genuses. Yes, so let's go. That's my brother. And as you can see, it's very long. So I've done my due diligence of advertising, because what good is a good game if nobody knows it exists? So keep that in mind, which is why I made business cards with all my stuff. Because business cards are how you communicate. There you go. The film studio. So now we have a studio, which is why people must know that we here at Drawn Out value your time and make a documentary to show you behind the scenes elements of this game. One of the main reasons I went into game design initially was because, well, I just like making games. It's fairly simple, but one of the most interesting things happened to me while I was on a flight, and it changed my whole view on game design, because while I was on the plane, to my side, I saw a mother and her son. They were bonding over video games. They were playing a Nintendo Switch. The son gave her mom a controller, and they both just began to play just to pass the time, and that right there is a thing of beauty. Because that's what we're all here for, really. It's just to entertain and just to really make someone's day. Because you never know who's going to be playing your game. Using your game as a platform to really just enjoy life and just have a breather every now and then. As famous president of Nintendo of America once said, Reggie Fils-Aimé, if it's not fun, why bother?